In this video we will be taking a look at the FR5.56 with 2020 Hindsight. Might make this a series, let me know if there's any topics you'd like me to cover. Let's start with the structure of this video. Timestamps will be in the description. Let's make this point short and compact. In the first damage range of 30.5 meters, it will deal 40 damage to the body and 64 to the head. This means it will take 3 hits to the body or 2 hits if at least 1 bullet hits the head. The burst fires at about 1000 RPM with a burst delay of 240 milliseconds, which results in a time to kill of 120 milliseconds or 60 milliseconds respectively. In the second damage range you will deal 33 damage to the body and 50 to the head. That means it will take 4 hits to kill, or 3 hits if at least 1 bullet hits the head, or only 2 shots if both hit the head. That results in a TTK of 360 milliseconds, 120 milliseconds, or 60 milliseconds respectively. The ADS speed stands at 300 milliseconds. Sprint out is average for ARs at 250 milliseconds or 375 milliseconds for tag sprints. Just looking at the stats first, it looks like a high risk, high reward option. The TTK for hitting one burst, especially with headshots, is an extremely attractive characteristic, which is counteracted by a rather long burst delay, somewhat high recoil within the burst, and slower handling. The fast TTK and high recoil would let you assume that this gun is meant for short range, while the handling is more typical for a long range weapon. This is a conflict you can mostly resolve through the right attachments, which leads us to the next point. My preferred setup for the FR5.56 is an overall balanced approach focusing on precision. The sniper barrel will make the recoil a lot more consistent and add some range, which will make the gun feel even more consistent. To complement this gain in precision, I use the GI Mini Reflex sight, so I always have a good vision on my target. The tack laser and stippled grip help in making the gun more mobile again and bringing it back to a more balanced state in terms of mobility. Now, for my last choice, I included the ultralight hollow stock, since I like to strafe a lot while aiming. You could use the ADS stock if you want the gun to feel a little snappier, however I prefer it like this. Now we come to the most relevant part. How does it actually stack up against the meta? The raw TTK is among the best in the game, with only the AN94 beating it. Aside from the mobility, the burst delay can be a big problem when facing multiple people at once.
Across the map geknifed, Digga.
So you don't get the same freedom of movement as you might get with other meta guns like the CX9 for instance. However, as long as you're accurate, you will be able to beat every other meta gun in the game. If you pair this with a slightly more careful playstyle that prioritizes pre-aiming and picking off people one by one, it is an extremely potent weapon, even among the meta. We have pretty much established that the FR5.56 was underrated, but just by how much? I think this gun could be overall ranked as meta contender. It lacked the same versatility which most meta weapons possess, but aside from that, it is a top tier choice for any player with high accuracy, which was never really reflected in the usage frequency. Even a minor buff, like a reduction in recoil or burst delay, could have led the gun to becoming OP, so I think it's in a good spot as it stands, and deserves a lot more love than we gave it during the game's life cycle. If you made it this far in this video, thank you for watching and make sure to like and subscribe, as well as comment on what topic or gun you would like to see covered next. Until then, have a nice day.
Shut the fuck up, nigga.
We're literally in your team.
Much easier.
Ah, okay.
How stupid you have to be. Digga.
Here are a couple bonus clips of the gun being used. Have fun.
Ich bin gerade am Wandern, ich will euch ehrlich gesagt genau jetzt verlassen.
Ja. Auch irgendwie Touch im Gegner drin haben, Digga.
I do wanna fucking look them up.
Lost Alpha. I'm taking fire. For flyover. Request recon flyover. This is Contact. Setting charge. Travel. Enemy at the freight elevator.
Engine mags.
Two objectives lost.